We've had a chance to talk about flow, and we've also discussed the importance of including both material and information flow on our value stream map. But there are a few more types of flow I'd like to discuss, which are commonly referred to as the 7 flows of manufacturing. While these are largely focused on manufacturing operations, several are also important to consider in office and retail settings. We want to consider these flows as we map and improve our processes, and they're especially critical to evaluate prior to designing a new layout for an office or facility. The 7 flows include the flow of raw material, the flow of work in progress, the flow of finished goods, the flow of operators, the flow of machines, the flow of information, and finally, the flow of engineering. When we're on a Gemba walk, take notes and practice sketching these out as you see them. Remember, as we sketch, we are engaging both sides of our brain, and drawing these out forces us to think critically about the current state of the work. As an added benefit, sketching also boosts creativity and helps us think through possibilities for our future state. Consultant Mike Wroblewski, who started his lean journey learning quick die change from Shigeo Shingo, discusses his learnings of the 7 flows of manufacturing on Reliable Plant, along with some suggestions for questions to ask while at the Gemba. When looking to understand how raw material, work in progress, and finished goods flows through the plant, consider asking the following questions. What is the standard work? Where are the locations and distances? How is the transfer of material accomplished? Are we using conveyors, carts, or forklifts? When looking to understand how operators flow in our system, we can ask, again, what's the standard work? What is the operator's cycle time, and are they working to tact? What are their body movements? Think here how we might be able to leverage ergonomics or human factors to improve the work of the operator. As always, include them in these discussions. We should also evaluate machine flow. Here, we want to understand what the machine cycle time is, what are the setup requirements, what are the steps required to operate the machine, and are there unused features on the machine? With respect to information flow, we want to know what information is needed, what is the path of information, what are the decisions of the operator based on that information, what does the operator do if they have a question or concern, how does information of problems get passed on and to whom, who responds when the operator needs something. Think about how this relates to the non-manufacturing environment as well. These questions of how information flows, how it's processed, and what decisions it supports is key in any industry, yet it's often overlooked as a critical flow requiring documentation and improvement. Finally, let's think about the flow of engineering. With respect to this technical work, we may want to ask what tooling is required. What are the process controls and quality checks? Are there no-go, no-go gauges used to ensure quality at the source? What is engineering capacity? What is measured and why? We can also think about how and where these apply to other industries. While I'd argue that most, if not all, of these apply to service industries, sometimes it makes more sense to think more specifically about our business and, as always, how we define value. This may lead us to consider different flows. For example, there are a number of different flows that can be evaluated in healthcare. Here, we can see how these are translated to the healthcare environment by focusing on the flow of family, patients, healthcare staff, medications, information, supplies, and equipment. Think about how these flows apply to your work. Draft your thoughts and go on a Gemba walk. Practice sketching these flows and asking these questions. I would bet that at the end of your Gemba walk, you'll leave with at least one aha moment and probably a few more questions to guide you and your team as you work to create flow across your organization.